Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. It's a rainy and windy day here in paradise, here in the Caribbean. But my friends, I have some good news for you. Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, started the process of kicking French soldiers out of the West African nation of Ivory Coast, in English or in French, Côte d'Ivoire, a francophone country. What we mean by francophone, it's a West African country located close to Ghana, which speaks French and other African language. And the French has been there for a number of years. But I have some good news for you. The French president would have been in talks with some French people who came from France, and they will be removing the military base from Ivory Coast. France is crumbling, my friends, in Africa. We saw what happened in Niger and Burkina Faso and Mali. These were African countries colonized by the French. And then the French sent their military there after independence to continue the occupation of these countries, to secure their resources, to secure their businesses, to make sure their businesses do what they were sent there to do. But France is crumbling in Africa. You know, Senegal would have asked French soldiers, they closed the French bases in Senegal because they just had a new leader elected into office a few months ago, and they removed the French bases from Senegal. Chad would have followed suit and asked the French to leave Chad. So France is crumbling, my friends. Congo is beginning to wake up as well, because as countries become brave and get rid of France, more and more countries are waking up, my friends, and becoming braver and braver by the day. So, my friends, in recent reports suggest that there have been discussions between Ivory Coast and France regarding the future of French military presence in the country. These discussions are part of a broader trend of African nations seeking to redefine their relationship with the former colonial powers. The presence of French troops in Africa has been a source of both contention and some support. You know, the political elites support that because of France will keep their puppet governments in place. So of course some of them will support French military there so that they can keep them in power. Proponents argue that French military presence helps to maintain stability and counter terrorism in the region. But critics, however, contend that it represents a neocolonial relationship and hinders the development of independent African defense capabilities. Now, my friends, Niger complained about this. France said their troops are there to counter terrorism. But Niger was there for many years, and what the Niger government realized is that the French troops were there facilitating or doing nothing against the terrorism in the country. As soon as they toppled the French-led puppet president, all of a sudden, after a few weeks, terrorism began to drop in the country. Now, what does that tell you? As soon as they asked for the Russian help, terrorism is down and the country is booming, because what these Europeans do, they want to keep these African countries in a state of war, in a state of chaos. while they fly in and take out their resources free of cost. That is why they need a destabilized Africa so that they can steal resources. But Africa is waking up, my friends, and Africa is saying no more. My friends, I have another post here from journalists. Two major blows to France, Chad and Senegal. Remember I told you Chad and Senegal is following Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. And now Ivory Coast is beginning to ask French soldiers to leave the country. Chad and Senegal are both kicking all French troops out. Yes, Chad made the announcement while the French foreign minister was visiting. He snubbed him. He waited until the French foreign minister was there in Chad, and then the president of Chad said, "We want you out of the country." Meanwhile, Senegal has marked the 1944 massacre of West African troops by France in a powerful way by announcing their decision. My friends, the president of Senegal waited until the French diplomats were in the country, and then they reminded them that, remember, years ago, 1944 Senegal citizens died at the hands of French troops. So the president did what was very smart. He said, because of that, we don't want you here. That is what he did, and get rid of them. So France is no longer in Senegal and no longer in Chad. Soon they will follow the path of proper decolonization, just like Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. So that was the first stage of getting rid. First, you have to get rid of the military, because the military is there keeping them down, preventing them from attaining any progress in the country. So once you get rid of the military, then the second steps are there to be started, just like Mali and Burkina Faso and Niger did. Remember, first they got rid of the French military, then they joined forces. Now they are building schools, they are taking control of their mining companies of gold resources. They're taking control of their natural resources, and they're using that money to build roads, to build factories. In Burkina Faso just opened the largest tomato processing factory in Africa just the other day. So they're able to move freely now. They're able to develop their country without having the meddling hands of France there destabilizing the country. Because as long as the French troops are there, they're going to cause chaos in the villages and say, oh, it's terrorism. And because of that, people are fleeing the villages. You have shooting, you have chaos all around. So development cannot happen in chaos. And that is a strategy France used to keep down West Africa. But West Africa is standing up right now, and I'm very, very happy, my friends. Ghana! We have to talk about Ghana, if not in this video, but maybe in the next one. Ghana have a new president, was elected in power, and he's not following the lead of the former president who wanted to invade Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. The new president-elect of Ghana is saying that he will work with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. That is a great thing, my friends, because you see Senegal, new president, Ghana, new president, Ivory Coast is waking up. You have Chad is there. Africans are taking control of all these places. All these major countries are getting rid of France. And I am very happy, my friends. That is the mission of this channel, is to let you know what is happening, because the mission is to bridge the gap between Africans, the Caribbean, African Americans, Afro-Europeans, Africans all over the world, man. We want to bridge the gap between all people. We were separated by a brutal European slavery and colonialism, but we're coming back together as one. So my friends, make sure to like this video, share it with all your friends and family. Please comment your thoughts and opinion, and let's have a wonderful interaction. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. We're over 17,000 subscribers already, my friends, because of you. Can you imagine that this channel was started 4 years ago? I started this channel and it took me almost 4 years to get 1,000 subscribers, and now all of a sudden I'm up to over 17,000 subscribers. In just this year alone, I would have gained something like maybe 15 or more thousand subscribers this year alone. So it's a testament to never give up, my friends, never give up. And our people, I have been motivated to continue this channel because our people in Africa, they need black people all around the world to report what is happening in Africa. I'm reporting right now from the Caribbean nation, twin island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis, located in the Eastern Caribbean, reporting to you under a mango tree. So, wherever you're watching from, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and we're gonna bridge the gap between Africa and the Caribbean and African Americans, Afro-Europeans, Afro-British. We know everybody in England, everybody in the UK. If they're not Africans, they're from the Caribbean. So, my friends, let us bridge the gap, and it starts with you by subscribing to this channel, share it with all your friends and family, and of course, my friends, of course, we will continue to bring to you the news. But how did France get control of all these countries in Africa? In 1884, the Europeans met in Berlin, and they decided that we're not going to fight anymore in Africa, because Europeans were fighting over various African countries. So they decided we're not going to fight anymore. What we're going to do, we're going to split the resources. And to split the resources, we're going to take different countries. So the British took Ghana, Nigeria, the Gambia, South Africa, Zimbabwe. France took Niger, Burkina Faso, Chad, Mali, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon. The Portuguese, they took Angola. Germans, they took Namibia, and I think Tanzania. The British, they took Kenya and Uganda. That is why they speak such good English today. France took Rwanda and also Congo and some northern African countries as well. Ethiopia, never been colonized. Ethiopia has been the same throughout history. The Italians attacked Ethiopia several times and tried to take Ethiopia, but they were unsuccessful. And that is why you have the borders in Africa today. That is why you have many borders, and you have this country speak French, they speak Spanish, they speak English. That is why you have the confusion, because of the Europeans. Before 1884, when they divided Africa, you never had this. You had different tribes, but everybody was living together as one. Didn't have any borders. Now they have European borders in Africa. And I was in Africa 4 months ago. I was in Africa for 4 months as well. And I went to Kenya, and just to cross the border from Kenya to Uganda, I had to get a visa, and it was not easy. You had to stop at the border, they had to check you, change over your bags, ask you questions. It was very difficult. It wasn't easy at all. So from one bordering country to the another, It's not easy in Africa. And you have flights. A lot of the flights are not direct from one country to the other. But all of this would change in the future. You have the African free trade now, where the African Union is trying to implement, where trading is done freely throughout Africa. Because imagine a neighboring African country import a product from Europe that they can get right there across the border in another country. They're importing some products from America that they can get in other neighboring African countries. A lot of work still there to be done, but my friends, with time, we will get it done. Thank you for watching this channel. My name is Beyond, and the name of my channel, Beyond Uncut, with one edited videos bridging the gap between all black people throughout the world, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Much love.